Hi, it's me, the only good Kyle. In honor of starting our own fake film school here at Doormonster, I'd like to address an important question for all aspiring filmmakers. Is real film school worth it? No. Ta-da! I'm just kidding. Well, that is my answer, but I'll explain why. There are two things that will really make a difference when it comes to finding success in the film industry, and those are experience and relationships. Film school can be very beneficial to a level 1 filmmaker because it gives you a lot of both of those things really fast. Experience is just about making as much stuff as possible, which a good film school encourages and facilitates. It doesn't even have to be good stuff, which is great because it won't be. Your first priority as an aspiring artist is to become comfortable with making trash and then make a lot of it. Your early work will be embarrassingly bad, whether you want it to or not, so you may as well get it all out of the way as fast as possible, and then you can move on to the good stuff. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, well, I have some pretty great ideas, and I'm gonna do everything that I need to do to make sure that they don't turn out bad. But guess what, past me? They're still gonna suck. You don't know what you're doing, because you've never done it before. So do it, a lot, and make a mess, and learn from your mistakes. And don't worry about wasting ideas, because you're gonna have way more of those than you will ever know what to do with. A film school also provides a great environment for forming relationships with other filmmakers, because you're all in the exact same situation. There's no real competition, and nothing is at stake. The professional film industry is a pathetic, backstabbing high school drama masquerading as a bunch of adults with jobs, which is a topic for another video, but as students, you have this brief window where you all mutually benefit from each other's participation, because failure is meaningless. Now, you'll often hear people talk about the importance of making connections in the film industry, and that's not what I mean when I talk about forming relationships. Connections are names to add to your contact list, and while there's definitely a use and a strategy to networking, that's not what we're covering on this channel. Relationships, on the other hand, are people who you trust to get the job done because you've worked with them before and you know they're reliable. If you look at the credits for movies made by long-standing artistic directors like Tarantino or Edgar Wright, you're gonna see a lot of the same names over and over again, because when you find people who you trust and click with, you want to work with them on everything. I actually met several of the people who you see regularly on this channel at film school, including Caesar, Matlock, and Joey. The most important thing a school can give you is a safe environment to learn by making mistakes, because you need to make them, and you shouldn't have to suffer the wrath of the world's most miserably fragile egos to do so. Unfortunately, anything beneficial in this world will be manipulated into turning a profit by someone else, so one of those mistakes might be choosing to go to film school. Attending a university or a community college these days is just not the same thing that it used to be. Tuition is way higher, and wages are relatively lower, which means you're going to be spending way more time paying off your student debt than anybody in past generations ever had to. Even so, a college degree is still pushed as a necessity for pretty much any kind of success, especially by the American education system, but it's becoming less and less common for jobs to even require one. For filmmaking in particular, all that matters is what you can do and who you know, and as long as you can show off those things, then no one cares if you went to film school. It doesn't matter where you learned to use the camera. And this is a big deal because most film schools are just privately owned companies whose goal it is to sell you a degree. The whole school thing is just a formality to make it legal and also convince you that you're getting what you overpaid for. I attended the Art Institute of Austin, and I was lucky enough to have parents who were able to pay for me to go, which means I got to experience most of the benefits of film school without being directly affected by the downsides. But I was still able to observe how the company operates, and the important thing to know is that they are just that, a company. You pay them money and they offer you a service, and eventually a bachelor's in fine arts. But then they use their identity as a school to justify practices that they would never get away with otherwise. When it comes to taking their customers' money, they're strictly business. But then other times, like when you need to check out equipment over spring break to film a school project, they're suddenly doing inventory. And it's against school policy, and you're somehow the unreasonable one for expecting them to provide a service that you're paying for when you actually need it. Don't go to the Art Institute. The truth is, while it's convenient to have a place that helps you build the essential experience and relationships that we've talked about, it's not anything you can't do for yourself. You can get experience by making weekly YouTube videos with your friends, or volunteering as a production assistant on small sets, or even just finding people online who are looking for some free help. And you can build relationships the same way, just by helping other people with their projects or attending networking events that you can also find on the internet for free. It's hard to give one straight answer because it depends on your personal needs and whether you prefer to spend your money or your time and energy. But one piece of advice I can give is to treat film school like a service and not like a school. This was specifically hard for me coming right out of high school because for my entire life, school had been this authoritative presence and I had to do it exactly the way they told me to do it. But an art school serves you. You're paying them to teach you a skill, and if that trade-off seems worth it, then by all means go for it. If I had to give advice to an alternate universe, younger version of myself, I'd probably tell him to just spend all of his free time making movies and then get a less expensive degree in something complementary, like business or marketing. Because if you care enough, you can collaborate with other people who care just as much, and you can get all of your experience from your own practice, and even from online tutorials, like the Black Pants Film School. The most important thing you can do, above all else, is just to make movies. Make as many things as you can all the time, and make them with other people so that you can all share your success with each other down the road. How you get your education is not nearly as important as getting it, and once you know what you're doing, that's all that's gonna matter. Thank you for watching, subscribe if you want more, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Also, if there's anything you want me to cover in a future episode of Black Pants Film School, specific or broad, please feel free to leave a suggestion. If you've been enjoying these videos so far and you want to help me make more, consider visiting patreon.com/doormonster and donating $1. We also have a podcast called Superhero Chicken Fest where we talk about writing and superhero movies, so if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, be sure to check out that channel in the link in the description, and also tune in to twitch.tv/doormonstertv to watch the Doormonster Crew's weekly live streams. I think that should be all the plugs. So, I'm also looking for sponsors. So if you have anything to put in my cup, pay me.